If I'm on that sideline, we whooping their ass like that, playing against Deion Sanders. Coach, put me. I'm thirsty. Coach, put me. Come on, coach. Let me get in there, coach. Come on. Come on. Let me get. Come on. I want a high step, coach. I want a high step. I'm finna high. Come on, coach. I want a high step on these hoes. Come on, put me in the game. What do we have to lose? Put me in the game. They score 5 touchdowns. That'll be some bullshit. But nah, did you get to see any of Shannon on Stephen A's show, or Stephen A on Shannon's show?
Just the shit you said.
Yes,
That you talking about?
Yeah. Well, I mean, Stephen A went on Club Shay Shay first, like a week or two ago.
Yeah.
And they said they talked about the elephant in the room real good on that one, and then Shannon was on Stephen A's podcast, and they went into it even better because Stephen A know how to ask the questions right and then lead, whatever. And plus, it was already talked about, so they had no choice but to go in further depth. And obviously, the elephant in the room being how it ended at Undisputed with Skip and all that shit there. And one thing I just want to say, bro, about that situation specifically, bro, I'm not hearing nearly enough respect on Stephen A. name for scooping that boy up, bro. Like, I just heard the other day, and I'm gonna call my boy out, my boy Godfrey, the comedian, one of the most underrated comedians right now, or it has been for years, but he was talking about Stephen A. and saying, he specifically said a broken clock is right twice a day, right? I'm like, bro, that's not really fair, because he's alluding to how much Stephen A. stands up for black people, and talks about the things that, most networks ain't trying to talk about. I'm like, bro, that's not fair. He's far more than 2 out of 12, bro. 1 out of 12. He's far more than that, bro. He especially on this podcast, but on the show, bro, does he not bring up these issues all the time, nigga? Like, he's like the only show you can go to.
But then at the same time, I feel like, but he doesn't use his platform I guess that's why they always say Max Kellerman was more blacker than him, because Max Kellerman's more outspoken. But at the same time, I feel like Stephen A. just kind of he don't want to rock the boat. You know what I'm saying? With ESPN, he don't want to piss off the head people. He just trying to stay here.
Pause. I feel like early on, let's say I'm gonna give it a 5-year box. The last 5 years, Stephen A. has been outstanding. He's been outstanding. Now before that, it could have been a little bit more, a little bit more black justice talk. But had there been a little bit more, he might not have got to stay. Stephen A. is playing one of the best balancing acts I've ever seen. Cause if he just go hard, black folks, and harping on it, he not finna keep that chair, bro. Max can talk about it a little bit more, go into depth in a little bit more, cause he white. You see what I'm saying? When the black is gonna come off different when the black dude, when we bring it up one time, they think we're harping on it. So if he actually says it more than one time, he gone.
That's why he keeps that more to his personal podcast than the TV stuff.
Right, but in the last 5 years, he's talked about everything, bro. He ain't backed down not once. And he'll go into further detail on his podcast, but last 5 years, Stephen A. has stood up, bro. And to hear a nigga say he broken clock right twice a day, that's not fair. That means that let me know you ain't been listening the last 5 years. Like, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of people haven't, because the opinion has been made. He's already been on TV for, X amount of years, right? So the opinion is being made and nobody listening as hard as they used to listen. And I have. That nigga talks, bro. He speaks on these issues, bro. And like I said, even more on this podcast. But to say he's a broken clock in this, recently, after what he just did for Shannon, that wasn't just for Shannon, bro. That was for all of us, bro. And he was right in telling Shannon he should have kept the seat. He should have kept the chair on the other show. Because then we have 2 major shows of black folks that's going to bring this shit up. You know what I'm saying? Rather than just one now. But the fact, if Stephen A. didn't call Shannon and pick him up, ESPN wouldn't have called him. It was the fact that Stephen A. campaigned for Shannon. That's why ESPN flew out to Shannon and negotiated a contract with him. Didn't even negotiate, just asked what Shannon wanted and gave it to him. That was all Stephen A., bro. That's a market. That's an industry that would have left that black man out, bro. They would have blackballed him for exactly because you know that shit didn't look good. Plus the Lakers situation that happened. You remember the little incident with Ja Morant folks and Dylan Brooks and all that. That didn't look good, bro. ESPN would not have called him back, bro, or called him in general. Stephen A. is solely responsible for that shit, and the man needs credit, bro. The man needs credit.
It's funny because I mean that's the same. Suppose that's the same thing with Skip did. Like nobody wanted to give him a show, so Skip had to be like, nah, like either y'all give him a show with me, or there's not gonna be another show.
and to this day, Stephen is grateful for what Skip did for him, bringing him on First Take. Stephen A. saw the playbook. He already knew that playbook and did the same thing for Shannon. Ironically, away from Skip Bayless. You know what I'm saying? Ironically.
But then Shannon he did it to both of them. He did that for Stephen and for
What you mean?
Because they didn't want to bring Shannon onto the team at first.
On what team? On Stephen A?
No, to Skip's show.
Oh, they didn't?
No,
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, Skip had to go get him. That's why, and I guess that's why Shannon was so hurt, because he was all like, because I think even at the end of the show, he was all like, man, like you stuck your neck out for me, like when nobody wanted to. I guess that's what he was saying, because like he tried. What did he say? He was all like, someone that I had considered my friend, and then like how he felt he was really disrespected.
Because Shannon always took up for Skip. Because, you know, Skip done burned some bridges over the years with his sports takes, right? When dudes want to go at Skip, Shannon right there. So how the fuck you can't return that shit to me, bro? Let alone step on my name the way you did. Like, that's kind of fucked up. Yes, Skip has done a lot for black people in this industry and shit like that. But at the same time, bro, like, you got to show some level of respect if you really love the game. You can't sit there and say a nigga that's a Hall of Fame and one of the coldest tight ends of all time ain't shit. You basically say that nigga ain't shit. And I think he literally said the Hall of Fame don't matter. Mm-hmm. Bro, I'll jump across that table and choke your bitch ass. Nigga, what the fuck is you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? Like, that's the stupidest argument I ever heard. And then you comparing a quarterback to a tight end, bro? Come on, fool. That's like comparing a coach to a motherfucking point guard. Get the fuck out of here, bro. And I'm not no Stephen A. head. I just want Stephen A. to get some more respect on this shit and for people to listen and tune in a little bit more, because Stephen A. do be talking about it, bro. The perception of Stephen A. needs to change a little bit, because he do be talking about it, bro. Everything that done happened in the past 5 years, you can go find his take on it, and you can find it on Disney, like on First Take.
Even though we clown a lot about his like take on weed, he's not wrong. He's not wrong on his take on weed. At all. But you can't show up to the game stoned and shit, rocking back and forth like, what's the play?
Well, no, not that part, because there's not a problem with dudes showing up high. It's just the simple fact that, and this is what he would always allude to, is that if it's going to hurt your career, your multi-million-dollar career, you're a fucking idiot to smoke weed, nigga. If it's gonna hurt your shit, your multi-million-dollar career at all, 1%, you're an idiot to do it, bro. And to keep doing it, I wouldn't campaign for you if they didn't want to work with you no more, and you got blackballed about it because you made that mistake. You know what I'm saying? As much as I love weed, I wouldn't have no pity for a nigga that lost hundreds of $1 million because he wanted to smoke. Nigga, you stupid.
That's why nobody really feels sorry for Josh Gordon. That nigga was the most talented wide receiver, but he just kept failing drug test after drug test.
I would say, nigga, do it better. Find a way to skirt the system better. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't saying stop smoking weed, just don't let nobody know. Like that shit you just showed me, Percy Harvin, right? I'd heard that before. I've heard him say that multiple times. I've been high not even just him, Marshawn Lynch. I'm high every game. Well, multiple niggas over there. I don't think it was Marshawn Lynch. It was somebody else.
I saw somebody else from one of these new, because now all these athletes getting podcasts. There's some new dude.
Dude, it was a defensive tackle that said this shit. I can't remember who his name was though.
The dude I was watching, he was talking about how his dad found out he had just gotten a tattoo and he was already grown in the league. He's sitting at somebody's house before the game smoking weed, and his dad called him. I was like, "What the hell, nigga? That's some shit." And his dad's like, "You got a tattoo? You got a tattoo?" And this nigga sitting there high as shit, like, "Man, I ain't trying to hear this."
Yeah. No, I can agree with that. What did my boy? What did Max say about this? Now, I'm not a Stephen A. head. Like I said, that's what I was gonna say. I'm not a Stephen A. head. I just want some respect put on the name. Cause I can definitely tell you right now, I don't agree with everything nigga say. The nigga 50-50 with me. You know what I'm saying? The nigga would go too far in the wrong direction sometimes for me and be harping on the wrong parts of the subject for me. And it may not be no black. I'm not even talking about black stuff. It's just, sports in general, whatever. As far as like Stephen A. talking about this, because he was on Joe Budden, the Joe you was talking about earlier, Joe Budden podcast, and talking about I didn't like working with Max. People started to question, why should we listen to him? He wasn't an athlete. He wasn't a journalist. So that's why it wasn't working. I call bullshit on that narrative. Complete bullshit on that narrative, bro. It wasn't nobody undermining or not taking Max seriously. It was Stephen A. undermining that nigga. It was him every time. Like, he would act like it's a difference in debating, you know what I'm saying? And if somebody say something ridiculous, fine, go at him and call it ridiculous. But everything Max said had to be ridiculous. Bro, I was gonna say, I got a clip right now. My nigga.
Max Kellerman be like, the sky is blue. Nigga, it's ridiculous.
Nigga, you fucking retarded?
It is a light blue. What, nigga?
Bro, this is the most ridiculous one right here, bro.
That's nice. Who's a more unstoppable, forget about scoring, forget about natural, forget about who it's easy for, who's a more unstoppable offensive player? It's a 5-on-5 game. LeBron James or Kevin Durant?
Kevin Durant.
Incorrect.
Kevin Durant.
LeBron James is a far more unstoppable offensive player.
Who's the more unstoppable player, Kevin Durant or LeBron James? And this nigga bring up Kevin Durant. Okay.
Far more unstoppable. That's a joke. That's a joke.
Offensive player.
Excuse me, I didn't stutter.
Not just shooting.
I didn't stutter.
Not just scoring.
You didn't ask me about a jab or a body shot. You asked me about a jump shot. You asked me about basketball. Let me tell you something right now. Kevin Durant is 6'11", who can pull up from 40. Okay. This brother is on that level. I'm talking about offensively. Now, Kevin, if you want to tell me that LeBron James, from a physical, he's big and he's unstoppable because he can get to the basket anytime he wants to. Kevin Durant,
6'11", and he can shoot from three.
You're asking me. You're acting like Kevin Durant ain't even in the conversation. LeBron doesn't have the offensive skills that Kevin Durant has.
Incorrect. Kevin Durant doesn't have the offensive skills LeBron has.
Oh my
You're
God.
taking offense to mean scoring. Okay. Offense is much more scoring. Now, Karl Malone was unstoppable going to the basket. What was he, about 260?
Right.
That's what LeBron is.
Wait for his reaction.
Johnson, and he can shoot from outside.
I'm not even talking to you about this no more. It's ignorant. Okay. I'm not even talking to you.
Bro,
I'm not even talking to you.
To your earlier point, he's won a couple chips now, and I can.
Bro, Stephen, I'm not even talking to you. I'm not even. It's ignorant. It's ignorant to say LeBron James is the most unstoppable offensive player. Bro, are you motherfucking kidding me? He blew this nigga's argument off like he said Barney was the coldest NBA player of all time, nigga. What the? He brought up LeBron James. Bro, how do you laugh off LeBron James like it was ridiculous? The nigga has scored the most points in NBA history. How is it ridiculous? Like, that's the most egregious example of Stephen A. undermining Max and acting like his argument is completely stupid. It's LeBron James, bro. He act like he brought up motherfucking Chris Paul, Rajon Rondo or something, nigga. The most unstoppable. Come on, bro. I understand why you bring up Kevin Durant, and Kevin Durant's a fine argument. But I think for me, there's something psychologically that just makes him not want to step on the gas at times. For me, but LeBron always on the gas. LeBron always on the gas, bro. And to act like it's just a fucking ridiculous statement, LeBron is the most unstoppable offensively. Stephen A., you a bold-faced goddamn lie talking about his arguments weren't credible or he don't know. So first of all, Max Max had Max on boxing forever. As long as Stephen A been on TV, that nigga been on Max on boxing, right? That shit. When I was in school, that nigga was doing Max on boxing.
Yeah, I remember seeing that nigga back on HBO when I was in school.
Right. So, first of all, he got that because he himself was a professional boxer. Is that not an athlete? Max was a professional boxer, bro. Like, he in his sport went higher, further in his sport than you did in yours, Stephen A. Technically, it's boxing. You know what I'm saying? You don't go to college for boxing, but you know what I'm saying? Technically, he was a pro. You was never a pro. And then, what is the difference between a journalist and an analyst? I'm pretty sure Max was an analyst on Max on Boxing. He was analyzing boxing, was he not?
Yeah.
What's the difference between a journalist and an analyst? One of them types up, drafts a motherfucking article, and the other one just talks about it. They both have to do the same research. Am I wrong?
Yeah. Nah,
so where the fuck does he lose credibility for not being a pro athlete and for not being a journalist? Stephen A., come on, bro. Come on, bro. What happened was, and I'll show you this clip. I know you remember the T.O. thing.
Yeah.
Many pointing to that one viral moment when Terrell Owens appeared on First Take.
Mentioned obviously Max is going to get in here, and like I said, I'm in the streets. Max almost seems blacker than you, Stephen A.
Max almost seemed blacker than you, Stephen A.
With his commentary.
With all due respect, my brother.
I'm just saying, dog.
Wait a minute.
I'm just saying.
I'm gonna check you right now. You don't cross the line.
I'm just saying.
Time. Wait a minute. You don't cross the line.
Many blame his.
So that had a little bit to do with it, bro. Motherfucker saying Max blacker than Stephen A. or almost blacker than Stephen A. Finding out Max was a rapper in the 90s. That nigga, bro, and was killing and had some bars, nigga. Finding that shit out. Max had some swag. The thing is, bro, when it comes to Max arguments a lot of times, and that LeBron argument was not a crazy argument at all whatsoever, but a lot of times is Max will come with an eccentric point, like a more out of the box thinking point. You know what I'm saying? And if the narrative is, oh, James Harden don't play defense, then if you say James Harden had a good defensive night, then that's ridiculous. No matter how many stats you bring up, well, James Harden held his opponent to fucking 5 points. His opponent missed 19 shots. You can say that all that shit. Well, James Harden had 8 steals. Matter of fact, he's leading in steals in the whole league right now. Max will bring up this shit, but it's not the cliche narrative that everybody's saying. So Stephen A. says, that's crazy. James Harden don't play no goddamn defense. And I'm just using it as an example, but
sound like Uncle Ruckus.
I'm just using it as an example, but Max would have like some eccentric takes. And Max would be wrong sometimes, don't get me wrong. But Max didn't have no room to be wrong, bro, because Max wrong 1 or 2 times. Stephen A. gonna act like everything he say for the rest of the show is just absolutely ridiculous. And that shit got cringy to me after a while, bro. It's like, damn, let this grown-ass man talk, bro. It's a grown-ass man, bro. It's kind of like how Skip was doing Shannon. Put your glasses back on. Nigga, don't tell me to put my motherfucking glasses back on, nigga. Fuck is wrong with y'all? Jump across the table on your old ass, nigga. Fuck you mean? And that's what Shannon said. I had to restrain myself from going over that table. I'm like, Shannon, bro, ain't no way. There's no way you would have got up and did anything to that man, bro. Because you know, if you thump that man in a strand of his hair, he gonna break his neck. He can thump that nigga hair and break his neck. Ain't no motherfucking way he would have did this, no shit like that. But the level of disrespect was there. It was there. They could have came to fisticuffs had they been peers in the bar talking like that. You know, I finna shit on my whole career, bro. Yo, man.
Nah, disrespectful. As far as I say in here, I'm like, man, Stephen A. told Max Kellerman, he's like, you're not talking to me about no body shot. We're talking about a jump shot. I was like, nigga, what?
Yeah, he ain't talking about a jab or you say a jab or a body shot. You asked me about a jump shot. That's him trying to, because that's what niggas do in any sport. You talking sports and they lose an argument. Nigga, you didn't even play. You didn't play. Or how far you go? Nigga, you ain't score. You know what I'm saying? Like if that's relevant. Because Kevin Durant, an NBA player, a very prestigious one, a superstar in the NBA, said Shaquille O'Neal ain't got no skills. Is that a good basketball take? Does he know basketball? That's the stupidest take I ever heard. Imagine if Shaq ain't got no skills and was averaging 40 points in the playoffs. I wonder what he would have done if he had an ounce of skills. Nigga, he would have scored 100 points a game if he had an ounce of skills, if what Kevin Durant is saying is true. Nigga, you gotta have skills to average